What's going on, team? Let's go ahead. Time to wrap up the week. Of course, it's Friday, but that doesn't mean that we can't get some good action today. It seems like the market's getting a little bit of a bounce back since yesterday's little pullback in the NASDAQ. Will we see tech stocks rally, or will the rebalance come into play? Find out only right here on live trading, of course. Hit the like. Let's get it started, traders. Who's ready to get that winner? That chicken dinner, of course.
Winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. Oh, it's Vegas lore, that phrase.
Good morning, traders. Who's ready to get back after this market? We got, of course, the boys in town. The boys are back in town. The boys are back in town. What's going on, guys? How we doing?
Good. We're doing all right. Happy Friday. The open's on. Let's go. Let's get it. I can't hear anything.
No worries. I'm jamming myself. All right, team. Who's ready to get after it today? I know I'm ready to get after it. It seems like we're getting a little bit of a bounce back, right? It doesn't seem too bad there. Here, so I don't want to be the only one rocking by myself, so you guys can rock with me too. Who's ready for the market today? I know I'm ready, getting pumped up, and let's go. Let's get after it. Let's take a look at the market right now. I'll talk about my swing trade action, of course, and then we'll take a look at what you guys see in the market today. Good to see you guys out there. Paul C. rocking it this morning. Let's get to the action. Of course, Microsoft going a little bit higher here. Just keeping an eye out on the SPY overall to see if we're going to get the lift today. I felt like yesterday was a good opportunity to kind of wash out some of the bears. Well, not wash out some of the bears, wash out some of the bulls. And then now the bulls coming back into the market. Of course, you could see some lift today. I think watch stocks like Netflix, right? Because Netflix took such a hit yesterday, but will it just bounce back today? That's one thing that I'd be looking for. If it continues to get hit, I'd continue to see some leak into the market. But if that can bounce back, I think you start seeing investors be like, well, let's take it back, right? And of course, take a look at the other areas of the market. Will financials pull back today? Things to think about, right? I'm trading here. I got some swing trades on Valero still. That's doing well. I got Ross Stores still here. We'll look to see if that can push to the upside. I have Hilton, and then I have BJ. Also have Valet. So there's a couple of plays here that I will keep watching today. Definitely don't want to see Valet break 14. I've been watching Valet with also CCJ. So that's another one that I could keep a watch on to see if it breaks back above 33s. That's definitely a level to watch. 2 days sideways. Will we take that 33 and go higher? Not a bad stock to watch today. And there's one last one to keep an eye out that I'll be watching, which is LAC, but not going to let that go through the 2050 area. Need that to get back to the 21s and start to push. That's going to do it for my swing trade outlook. Like always, we can take a look at some more stocks. If you guys have some stocks out there you guys want to check out, now's your chance. Throw them up in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and kick it to my man Ryan so he can take a look at the S&P 500 for you guys, or the SPY in Ryan's case. But we will take a look at that. And if you guys have some stocks, some catalysts, of course, we got Nick Brown in the house. You can take a look to see if he catches on what you guys are looking at. Let's go to Ryan here, take a look at the SPY and see what's going on. Ryan, what do you see? Oh, you're on the mute button, my friend.
Taking a look at the SPY here, we had a move down yesterday, but we have a move coming back up here today. Sorry about Cleo. He's really excited.
No,
we'll
it's
see
good. It's morning time.
We will see if this move continues. What happens with this candle? It looks like we've already, we're still inside. If I zoom in on this candle, we're still inside this candle, but I'll be interested to see which end of the candle do we actually take out, and then where does the close happen? Obviously, we're still in the summer. Obviously, things are slow. By the way, it's worth noting that that SQQQ trade worked after it stopped me out. So that's a lot of fun.
Don't worry, Ryan. I cashed in on it for you, my friend. Remember?
I know. I ended up taking a small loss. It did work out quite well for you. You did a better job trading it.
And you know what was the important part, Ryan? I sold it yesterday. I didn't wait till this morning to sell it. And I think that was also important. I actually sold it into the 1771. So I got a full point on it. Didn't look to keep riding it, right? Sometimes on swing trades, it's just going to be that overnight momentum that we're trying to capture, right? That's what it is sometimes.
Yep.
We've gotten that overnight momentum. And now what are we getting? We're getting a little bit of a bounce back this morning. So we got to be careful today. We'll see what happens.
Okay, now let's take a look at some stocks. First one that I'm gonna go to the movers tool, but the first one we're gonna take a look at is PSQH, because this was the monster from yesterday. I don't see Wiss out there today. Maybe he made enough to start his retirement yesterday, because I know he was trading this thing back and forth. This thing, big move out of the gate, big moves later in the day. And look, we're getting some action here in the pre-market. Jay saying PSQH, big red to green in the pre-market. CEO told a good story. We could have a repeat day of this here today. And look out, if this takes out yesterday's intraday high, you might get some more wild action, very much like we saw yesterday. This is without a doubt a risky trade, but it is absolutely in play here this morning. Just going through a couple. I'm sorry, Nick, do you want to go over some news? I got to quiet my bird down.
Yes. I was going to say, Mitch, can you throw up a chart of AXP, American Express?
Of course I can, my friend. Let's get that up there.
I was going to say, they reported earnings this morning, Q2 earnings. They are lower this morning. You can see that dive in the stock, and we'll explain why here in a minute. EPS came in at $2.89. Estimate was for $2.81. Revenue came in at $15.05 billion. Estimate was for $15.48 billion. Provision for credit losses came in at $1.2 billion. Estimate was for $1.12 billion. They did issue some guidance, and they're reaffirming their guidance that they gave previously. They still see full year EPS from $11 to $11.40. The estimate was for $11.06. And they still see full year revenue plus 15 to 17%. Comments from AXP CEO was basically optimistic. Still not sure why the stock would be moving lower, just because I think they did miss on revenue, and maybe provision for credit losses could have a little bit of an idea there. But the comments that he made that I heard on CNBC, that he told CNBC's Becky Quick, were very positive, were very upbeating. And she even asked him, so if you're this positive, if you have so much momentum, why aren't you upping your guidance? They normally don't like to give quarterly guidance, so that's why they do full year, something I learned today. So some companies don't like to give quarterly guidance like AXP, so they'll give full year outlook. And so full year is they're still reaffirming. I think that could be why, is instead of upping, they're just reaffirming, and that could weigh on the stock. If you could throw up a chart of RF, Regionals Financial, we've had a lot of community banks this week, and they reported earnings this morning. Adjusted EPS came in at 59 cents. Estimate was for 59 cents, so right in line with expectations. And sales or revenue came in at $1.957 billion. Estimate was for $1.95 billion, so right in line there. Stock, I believe, on your screen is trading higher. It's so small I can't see. It looks like Regionals is probably trading higher, right?
Correcto mundo.
Okay, just making sure, because I don't like to give
no, you're good. You see it trading higher. It did do a little bit of a wick to the downside when it came out overnight, but it's trading upwards now.
All right, and one last earnings to conclude is CSX. They reported earnings last night. That stock, I believe, is trading higher. Adjusted EPS came in at 49 cents. Estimate was for 49 cents. Revenue came in at $3.7 billion. Estimate was for $3.73 billion. And no, that stock is not trading higher.
I was enjoying that chart because Nick's like, yeah, that one might be trading high. No,
it's not.
That big old red candle.
And operating income came in at $1.48 billion. Estimate was for $1.5 billion. This is live YouTube, folks. When you don't have a chart on your computer and you're just trying to guess.
You got to do like I do, Nick. So for pre-market prep, sometimes I look at so many stocks, and you know how I am. I'm covering so many earnings calendars. So what I do is a lot of the times is I look at the earnings, and I'm just like, I'll be like this. I'll be like, all right, so we're going to take a look at Ozark, and I look at the chart. I'm like, okay, so we're trading up a little bit here. Yeah. But yeah, I know how it is, man. It's hard when you're giving it live here. But appreciate you coming in, Nick, and getting in some of the news. Is there anything else you'd like to cover before we get there, my friend?
I was going to say, there was, we talked about the top White House officials. You mentioned Microsoft. They're part of the new top artificial intelligence companies that's convening at the White House. And so they're pledging to create ways for consumers to identify AI-generated materials and test their tools for security before public release. According to the email I got late last night from the White House, per the schedule, it says President Biden will deliver a speech this afternoon from the Roosevelt Room at 1:30 p.m. Eastern time on artificial intelligence. It's like Google, Microsoft, OpenAI, Amazon. There's 7 to 9 different CEOs of different companies regarding AI. And to end it off, Meta, their Threads, Ryan's probably going to be happy about this. Well, he's not even on Threads, but their usage is declining. That's per the new Wall Street Journal today. They say for a second week in a row, the number of daily active users declined, falling to 13 million, down about 70% from its July 7th peak. And the journal argues they better come up with something new before it really dies down over there.
That's what it's all about, man. Nick Brown bringing in some news for us. And like always, if you guys found the catalyst or something you want him to check out, definitely throw it up in the chat. Give him a little tag there. We'll definitely take a look here. All right, going back to my man, Ryan. What's going on, Ryan? How we doing? Mute.
We got a couple of stocks here right off the movers tool that we're going to take a look at.
Okay.
First one here is going to be BGLC. This is BioNexus Gene Lab. Let's see. I didn't see any news on this yesterday, or excuse me, I didn't see any news on this today. We did have news of an offering yesterday. It looks like it's actually trading up here today. We're coming back in, but I think as long as it holds the after hours highs and yesterday's intraday high, this actually might be in play. Might even get a bounce back to the VWAP here today. Let's see what kind of volume we get in BGLC. The other one here is going to be DWAC, right? We've traded this one a whole bunch. This thing, I don't recommend this for anything other than a trading vehicle. Be very, very careful. It's risky. We do have some news here that DWAC shares are trading higher after the company announced that it reached a settlement with the SEC. Of course, this is connected to former President Trump's Truth Social. We're right around the VWAP here. This thing likes to get wild on a regular basis, so I would expect some fireworks today. It's possible you could actually trade this in both directions here today. We'll see how it pans out. GFAI, this was the trade of the day yesterday. Just an absolute monster rip. We're getting it again here today. And the interesting thing here is that we're actually pushing up against this $8 level. So I clicked the wrong one again. So if we actually take this $8 level out, I would expect some fireworks here as well. Watch this one. This one likes to go. We've seen this a number of times on the relative volume scanner. I expect the exact same thing here today. Looking at a couple more here, we got BTM moving. And in fact, let's take a look at the Bitcoin chart. Bitcoin is still under 30K, but it actually looks like it's tapping that 30K level here today. Any kind of push up is probably going to take that level out. BTM here, Bitcoin Depot, this is trading up here, made a high of about 369. We're coming back in. We've retraced about half of that way back towards VWAP. We'll see if this sets up for us too. EBS, this is Emergent Biosolutions. This popped here this morning, but this is really kind of bled back. We do have a catalyst here. Shares are trading higher if the FDA approved the company's 2-dose anthrax vaccine for adults. So seems like a pretty good PR here. Decent range already here this morning. We'll see where this ends up. This one definitely on the list as well. We talked a little bit about PSQH. I suspect that this one's going to get wild, but I want to wait for this one to set up. This one's still kind of a riskier trade here. A couple more that I just wanted to mention just because we talk about them. Vintage Wine Estates. This is actually, I believe we've seen this one on the relative volume scanner again, or in the past, excuse me. Didn't have any news here today, but after hours yesterday, the company provided a business outlook and appoints a president and CEO. So that stock reacting here this morning. We'll see if this gives us any type of day trade. Nikola, this is actually, I can't even believe I'm about to say this, but this has given us multiple day trade opportunities over the past couple of days. We're curling up here in the pre-market. Let's see if we get another run out of the open like we have the last 2 days consecutively. That would be another trade here potentially. And then GooG. GooG yesterday, just a huge disappointment, right? Popped big in the pre-market, really dropped out of the open. We did get one tradable bounce in there, but I was looking at something else. And then the rest of the day, it just kind of bled things back. This morning, we popped as high as that intraday rebound yesterday, and we've kind of bled back. So until this can show some type of strength, I'm not really interested because I suspect performance like we saw yesterday. Couple more stocks that I noticed people were mentioning in the chat here. Rivian, this is higher here today. I know we've talked a lot about some of these electric cars recently. Rivian seemingly having a good day today. I didn't see any news on this. Yesterday, we did have some intraday news, including a pretty big call sweep there, but haven't seen anything fresh here today. This looks like this might be continued momentum from the bounce that we saw yesterday. And then also Lucid, right? So Lucid really kind of sold off yesterday morning, bounced, and then kind of drifted back down. Let's see where we actually end up settling today. I wouldn't be surprised if Lucid makes a run towards 730 here today. Okay. We got out of it.
All right. Well, I will let you know that I did turn on there some like noise reduction for Ryan to try to help out with
I'm
the bird
sorry,
noise.
man.
No, it's not. It's not your fault, Ryan. Well, more long, I'm looking out for everybody, right? Trying to keep it to a minimum, and that's what it's all about, guys. We'll always do a little bit of an adjustment. Let me know if that improved things there. Don't know, right? Like if it improved it, you guys can let me know in the chat. And like always, guys, we're going to keep going. We'll get after the market. And Cleo just gets excited in the morning. And I actually don't mind it because it just reminds me it's morning time, baby. Let's get after it. All right, let's take a look at stocks. Of course, if you guys got anything in the chat that you guys want to call out there today, I don't know. Where's the Crow at, man? Where you at, man? I'm calling you out, Crow. Where you at, dude? All right, well, we'll see what happens with some of the smaller names there. Just finally got my Stream Deck back here, so trying to learn where the sounds are there. But all I got to say is, Colin, my crow out there. Where is he? All right, we'll see what happens there, guys. Smash the like. It looks like someone's mentioning DNA in the chat. Not really a stock that I look at often, pretty much never. But Ginkgo Bioworks, of course, that's a Kathy favorite, retail favorite. It's starting to come back here. Not making the biggest moves at the late, but we'll see what happens there. And then looking around to see what kind of stocks are going to be trading today. Of course, I'll be looking for some oil names to go higher. Abbott Labs doesn't look too bad. Really nice move yesterday. We'll look to see if these kind of can continue to lift. Of course, a lot of these kind of stocks kind of getting lift here. Not a bad stock to kind of keep a watch on. I'd look for pullbacks towards around 110 on Abbott Labs, but we'll see if that can keep going. Airbnb mentioned in the chat. This can keep going here. Looks like it's trying to get to 150. This is why I like the lodging area, right? This is why I'm long Hilton, why I like Marriott, why I like Hyatt, right? These are pushing stronger right now. We'll look to see if they continue. Those were weekly charts, but let's see if they can continue starting to lift there. Airbnb doesn't look too bad there for that attempt towards the highs, but be careful because there's a lot of levels in the same area, 147.40, 147.50, 147.67. So it looks like that's being some topping area right now. We'll see what happens there on the daily chart. The Crow retired. Nah, the Crow never retires, man. He's out there somewhere. I know that much.
I was going to say, Mitch, if you could pull up, the Journal had a piece this morning that I thought that was very interesting on Warner Brothers Discovery, Paramount Global, Disney, Netflix, and Amazon. They say entertainment execs are preparing for the writer and actor strike to last for months, perhaps until the end of the year. They say Warner Brothers Discovery, Paramount Global, and Disney, quote, could be massively disrupted within months, where Netflix and Amazon, quote, might not feel the pinch until 2025 and beyond. And that brings me to the next point. Bank of America says the Hollywood strikes can hurt this equipment. They say that it can hurt HERC, which is an equipment rental, and they actually downgraded HERC. I think I'm saying that right. Ticker HRI. They actually downgraded HERC Holdings this morning with a price target. They reduced their price target to 140 from 150, and they actually do a double downgrade on this stock to underperform from buy.
Well, there you go. How quickly things can change up there. And I was watching Warner Brothers this morning. It looked like it had a nice little setup for a move above 1360s, 1350s. And it wasn't because of the news. So thank you, Nick, for bringing a little bit of news into this setup. We'll see what happens there. And yes, 2 minutes until go time. EKS is keeping us on track here. I'm going to kick it to maybe Ryan to see if maybe there's any smaller names in the chat there that you want to maybe cover. I'm not sure. But it's pretty interesting. And Paul, believe it or not, I did look for like a bird filter noise reduction. There is none for exactly birds, but hey, we've been enjoying it. At the end of the day, I think it's going to get a lot better here now that I put the reduced background noise on. So, all right, let's take a look here. What other ones you guys taking a look at? I see MGM mentioned in the chat. Oh, look who it is. Look who it is. Sound that alarm. He's alive, man. He's alive and kicking, man. Crow, what's going on? How you doing out there? It's good to see you out there. And Susan said, I love the birds, man. I love birds too, overall. I have a lot of birds outside of my house here, and I enjoy watching the Cardinals kind of play. And I have a couple of birds that just kind of stick around. They even like the dogs, so it's kind of interesting.
Yes, I do too, but I understand that it bothers some people. I'm limited in what I can do. The bird's 9.5 years old, so I'm not gonna force it.
I enjoy it. So I'm not stressing it. We already did a little bit of an upgrade today by reducing some mic background noise, so it should be doing pretty well there. All right, let's get to the action there. Any other stock you want to talk about before the open here, Ryan?
No, I think we covered most of them. I'm looking at the scanner right now. Remember, the scanner does run in all of the sessions. CEI, this is one of those crappy penny stocks. This was going here today. Big knife, though. I'll probably ignore this one. FRTX is one I'm looking at here, especially if we can take out 97 cents and then move through $1. FRTX.
Here we go. There's the open, guys. Let's have some fun. Let's see what we can get into today. All right, taking a look here right out the gates here. Might take a shot here on RXRX.
RXRX, huh?
Oh, it's short side, though. I will say that, guys. I'm looking at the short side for that. I played it yesterday, and I made a pretty good gain on it, so I'm looking to see if maybe I can play it again. Looking for an attempt here back above 15s. There you go. Got a little bit there. Now looking for a little bit higher here in the 1505s to add. Got 100 shares there at 498. You can go to 420s here easily, so just be careful out there. Or 1520s. Look for 1515 for another ad. All right, how's the Qs doing here out the gates? Straight down move here out the gates here, so be careful there. We are seeing a little bit of a decline there in tech out the door. We'll look to see if we still decline here. Utilities is going stronger, defensives up. Looking to see what is up on the day. Energy going a little bit higher, so could look at some oil names, but those were already lifting in the pre-market.
FRTX, just an immediate knife here. That's probably dead. GFAI might be going. Watching GFAI to really get above 765 here.
Hourly support around 1470s here for RXRX. Would want to see it back above the 1533s. Going to give it a shot to just break down through the 1470s.
Watched DWAC. We just talked about it. Digital World Acquisition Corp. News just come out, just crossing the wires, that the judge sets Trump classified documents trial for May 2024, months before the election. DWAC up near 30%.
Interesting. All right, let me get my OBS studio up here. All right, we'll be looking also for Moomoo trades. I have 3 day trades that I can do there, so I'm going to be looking at it for sure. Just got to take it nice and slow and be looking for some good trades to show up there. All right, starting the virtual cam here so I can get this up.
GFAI going for 8 here. Watch that 8 spot on GFAI. It struggled with 8 yesterday. Might be having a pullback here. This actually might be one of those stocks that we can add on pullbacks. So we'll see. Volume looking good here on GFAI.
RX coming down there now towards 1486, 83s on the bid. I'm in from about just above 15. So looking for this to completely wash out. If it comes back to VWAP, I can maybe add, but looking for the washout there. All right, let's take a look at the Qs to see what happens there. Qs bounce right back to the upside, so keep your eyes on stocks reversing back to the upside. We'll see if they get a little bit higher today. WBD starting to get a little bit strong. I talked about that one in pre-market. That one's trying to make a move above 1340s. I'll see if it can make that lift. Do have an alert set there at the 1340s.
GFAI pulling back towards the VWAP here. Let's see if it holds.
All right, looking
VWAP
around
going
there.
higher here.
Put some multiple charts up here. Got Braun going higher. That looks interesting. AMD a little bit weaker today. NVIDIA pretty weak out the gates here. We'll look to see if it reverses back to the upside. How's a growth stock like Carvana doing? Nice little push up on Carvana here out the gates. It's up there almost to 49 from a nice little pop after 47. So Carvana going right back to the upside as of right now. In that push there in RX. So just got to be careful as it starts to come back here.
DWAC more. Rivian going higher here too. Problem with DWAC at this point is that I feel like it's gone away. Really, this would need to come back in to give a setup for a long. Rivian kind of feels the same with the push that it's making here. Would really like to see it come back in. DWAC might be topping here at that 19 spot.
Woo! Nice little down move there to start it off there in RX. I'm looking to add. I just added a little bit. I have orders out for pullbacks to 15s here, 1510s. I got about 200 at 1494s. Going to look to add here on declines here for RX. Just rejected VWAPs. So that's looking good there. Wouldn't risk above the 1535s now. Wouldn't want this to start crushing through the 1470s here. All right, we go a little lower. I just added a little bit more. Boom. Now down to the 1470s. That's looking good there. Now down to 1475. Really want this to wash through the 1473s. And it can go down to 1450 after this. Then I'm looking at 14 here overall. So we could get about a buck move there. Got about 300 shares now. So looking really good here. Trying to take a bigger win here in RX to start off the day.
I was going to say, watch social media names. Now we're having issues with Twitter. Twitter's not loading for me on multiple platforms. Maybe that's an issue going back to Meta.
Twitter. What happened, Twitter? All right, there's 1460s showing up on RX. So looking good here, almost up about $100. Going to try to let it break 1450s because this could really just wash out and not come back. So let me see if I can get that type of move here and just stay with it.
Nick, TweetDeck seems to be updating for me.
That's weird because it's not updating for me on the Benzinga one, and then mine, I'm having issues on mine.
You know what's interesting here, Nick, though, is that it seems like it's like I'm loading tweets that were a couple of minutes ago. I mean, it's rolling, but the tweets it looks like it's trying to catch up, to be honest.
Hughes come back down. SPY rejects there also. So just be careful out there, team. I feel like it's going to be a lot of choppy trading today, guys. Walmart staying a little bit stronger. Keep an eye on stocks like DG, BJ to see if they can get back to the green. Dollar Tree, maybe. Those are starting to actually move well here. I actually wish I had more of RX, but just the ads never got filled there. Had to chase it a little bit on the entries. But there you go, back down to 1450s, looking really good now, up almost 40 cents on this position. 300
Nice job.
shares looking good. Really looking for a little bit more crack here, and then it can start taking some off here, and then you keep the rest, right? Take some good cushion, then keep the rest. All right, guys, I'm going to take 200 off there just to make sure I pay myself on the day. Just paid myself really well there in RXRX. And now from here on out, what can I do? I could just set it stop, break even, and just look for it to continue tumbling down, because this could tumble down. It's a type of stock that when it comes back down, it really gets hit. And I was seeing yesterday, at least from the price action that I was seeing in RXRX, it seemed to me like there was some bigger shorter in this and just taking some money on the way down. These are the type of plays that you'll see like all those furus get in. So it's crazy, but I'm trying to nail it with them. All right, if it does come back to my entry, I'll get out, but I've already taken some profits now.
EVLO going to halt here at 1325 if it holds on EVLO.
All right.
Halted. I'm not in this. Just noticing the pop here off the scanner.
Whew, big lift there.
Yeah, big move here. This halt, look where this halted. Literally 1 cent below the high print of the after hour session yesterday. This, I'm willing to bet, is going to open higher.
Carvana back towards the VWAP. If you guys want to take a look at that one, and interesting pattern there. We'll look to see if it goes higher today, or does it just turn around and just get dragged to the downside. Qs are pretty weak right now, but the bigger stocks aren't looking the worst. Microsoft is a little bit weaker. Oracle's pretty strong there, man. Still mad about not having the 114s, but that actually looks pretty good there on Oracle today. We'll look to see if it makes an up move or not. All right, what else you guys got out there?
Siri moving. Siri moving. What happened with the Siri yesterday?
I don't know. It was
multiple firms downgraded their rating following yesterday's rally.
Tesla gets smacked today, smacked down right there. RXRX stopping me out on the way back, and that's what it's all about, right? Taking some profits. If I didn't take profits there, I would have gave up a nice 40-cent gain there, right? Now it's right back to these levels, and I could actually reshort it here, but I'd have to be very careful. That's the only thing. Any pop above 15.25s could be a big lift.
I was going to say, Ryan, to your Siri XM issue, there was some short squeezes yesterday, so firms downgraded heavily. Today, I believe Deutsche Bank goes downgrades to sell from buy, basically because of valuation. They say Sirius stock price has more than doubled over the past month and increased 42% yesterday alone. This puts the stock 25% above their 12-month price target.
Yeah, Siri here, a number of chatters here mentioned the high short interest. That's absolutely what this looks like here. 34.5% of the float shorted, 8.93 days to cover. That's actually down from 12 days to cover the last time that we updated this data. So it looks like that's exactly what it is. Still going higher here. Some of these short squeezes can really overshoot to the upside.
Looking at RXRX right now.
Are you looking to reshort on an entry there, Mitch, or are you trying to reverse the position?
Reshort it, but the big thing is letting it reject like 3 times off this 15. So it's done 1, 2. I'm looking for the third rejection off 115 here, or off 15s, and then I could get in. I'll show you guys that right now. I'll put a big screen as I do it. And I'll let you guys know if I hit it right as I hit it. So right there, you see 15s trying to reject. So I'm looking for a couple seconds here, and then I'm going to look for a whoosh right back down. Okay, 15's hitting, 15's hitting, 15's hitting, rejection. Now I'm short. Just hit it right there. 1493s is the fill. Now I have to risk off the top of this candle here because it can wick there, but I wouldn't want to see it close above 1510s now. Just got to keep things in mind, right? Always keeping the profit to loss ratio in mind. That's what matters when you're going after a stock like this. The next move could be down below 1450s. So that's why I'm okay with taking this type of shot, right? It's a 40 or 50 cent type of gain for maybe about like a 15-cent risk.
Rivian, big pull here.
Rivian? Rivian taking a little bit of
Huge
a
pull on volume
pullback.
too on Rivian here.
Okay. How's the Qs doing?
Markets look like they're kind of rolling over here on lows. Qs are trying to bounce.
Watch Peloton. There's some news circulating that Peloton lowers the price of Peloton Tread by $500 to $2,995, and Peloton Row by $200
Just
to
added.
$995.
I'm taking a shot here on RXRX. Now I got to be a little bit closer towards this and look for the cut down right back below. Taking a little bit of a shot here. Why not? I have some cushion, so using that cushion to take the shot. RX trying to push, trying to get me out. We'll see if it gets me out here.
EVLO is open and moving higher here. Maybe it might be coming back in.
Getting that squeeze here on RXRX. Got to be careful here. Anything above this 519s, I'm going to get out. I have a stop set there for 1520s. There you go. Just got triggered. Took a little bit of a hit there. Went from being in the green decently to being a little bit red there. So definitely pushed it on RXRX. But hey, I tried to get a little bit of a bigger win there today, and it's right back up. Pattern looked good. A nice rejection off 15. Just didn't play out. All right, so you could see some little reversal action. And yeah, it's the Qs coming back, market coming back. Definitely brought that one right back up. The Qs coming back there definitely affected that. It was really quickly coming down, and all of a sudden the Qs popped back to 379.50s. Definitely got a lift there. So you're going to see tech stocks kind of playing in line today, if anything, going back to the upside. There's RXRX now up there to 1534s, and that's why you get the hell out when you can.
GFAI bouncing now back up to the VWAP here. Remember, we had that huge pull when it tried to break the top off on the upside break, which did not happen.
Hilton looking good for me. I'm wanting to get that to keep driving. I want to take some profits into like 254s or 154.
Watch Lumen Technologies, ticker LUMN. There's some talk that
Activist chatter.
There's some activist chatter. The July weekly 2 call activity that expires July 28th. There's some activity there. The stock's up about 1.84%.
Stock popped initially on that rumor here, but came right back in.
CCJ pulling back today. Industrial's pulling back today. Glad I got rid of my deer yesterday, even though it's still pretty up on the dailies. Just had to take the money and run. Financials down today. JPM down. Goldman Sachs coming right back down. That could drag the market right back into the red. Buy still red.
CEI, man, what a dog that stock is.
Yeah, we're going
APLS,
right
maybe if it
now.
takes out 36, could go higher here on APLS.
Going right back into the red right now as I start seeing stocks turn around here. Oof, you know, it's taking a tumble here is the Bitcoin stocks. Taking a tumble for sure. Mara down to 1681. And of course, RX comes right back.
Bitcoin did
down.
not pop and move through that 30K level that we talked about. In fact, it just sold off.
So RX just popped up to the kind of the hourly resistance and then just smacked right back down. So it's just stuck sideways between 1530s and kind of 1450s. Still could just smack right back down. We'll see what happens. Chevron pulling back there. So you're getting some oil pullbacks here. A little bit of a choppy day, don't you think? All right, guys, I'm going to go get some orange juice, reload, and get back after this market. Looks like XLE coming down fast. Looks like the overall market looking pretty weak right now. It's surprising to me to see some stocks up. So we'll see what happens there. Meta pretty weak there. Also rejected the 304s today, decked down the 301s. It doesn't look that great at all. It looks like a lot of stocks are getting weak now. Carvana came back down to 47s, and then I was looking at that one, and it was just a hard rejection right back down. That one could fill the gap to the downside to 42s as it starts to pull back. And RX now back down to 1470s. So it just seems like that one was just a little bit of a blow off top, and then it caught me on that blow off top. That's how it happens sometimes. I still think this could come right back down through the 14s today. I'll wait for Ryan to come back before I go get my OJ.
I was going to say, Mitch, we have the NASDAQ 100 rebalance that takes place after the close tonight that will be in effect Monday morning. It's going to be very interesting to see how that does against the equal weight NASDAQ, just because how the Magnificent Seven, like Tesla, or not Tesla, but like Amazon, Netflix, Google, Microsoft, how so many how just like 3 or 4 stocks can make up like 55% of the weighting. When the rebalance goes into effect, Apple will have the biggest weighting, I believe, like 12.3%.
And that's how it is. And I think that you got to watch for stocks, certain ones to lift, certain ones to come down. Right now, the ones that could come down are like the bigger boys like Microsoft and NVIDIA. Those have already been leaking, though. So just to kind of state that. Tesla leaking down to 263. Netflix going for another leg lower now, 432s, 431. So doesn't look like that's turning around anytime soon. WBD that we were looking at earlier today just got the smack down right back down. So just be careful out there, team. You could see stocks go lower today. Roku holding on to the daily support. We'll see if that holds on or does it cut right back. And RX right down to 1460s now. And I think it eventually comes back towards this 9 EMA, which is a 13 cut. So we'll see what happens there. Tried to make them up move here, failing there. Now we'll see if it just comes and just takes down. Yeah, it looks like it's just going to do that takedown. It's going to be a little bit frustrating on that one, but hey, it's how it goes sometimes.
Speaking of frustrating, if you guys are watching GFAI, be very careful with this thing. This thing is all over the place. Just came on, took VWAP out, tried to go for highs again, and immediate yank beneath VWAP. This thing is all over the place. Be careful on GFAI. I already took one loss on this here today. GFAI trying to bounce here again. And an immediate pull. My God, is this tough to trade. Popping back. Let's see if we can get above VWAP here. Be very, very careful. I'll reduce your size on this one. If you trade it. DWAC above 20, just like we talked about. So it did break out of that flag. Yep, did break upside out of that flag, going for more here. That would have been a good trade. Shoot, missed that one. And obviously, PHUN moves with DWAC. So for you penny players that want to take advantage of this movement, maybe PHUN. Again, I'd be careful with all of those, though. Those are, you know, these are trading vehicles, nothing more.
DWAC like 50% right now, up near 50%.
Yeah, I mean, this is, yeah, it's absolutely wild, Nick. Look at this. Man, that Lumen activist rumor just was not sticky at all. That thing immediately got pulled. And here comes GFAI again. This thing can't make up its damn mind here today. Let's see on GFAI. It crosses through the VWAP again here. Meanwhile, DWAC keeps going. GFAI kind of bouncing around here, but DWAC keeps going. QNRX halted. Good shout there, Alexa. Didn't see that one, but that is in the halt tool now. QNRX halted here. Wisdom getting his first par on a par 3 course. Yep. PGA Tour is next, Wisdom. That's what I got out of that one. I'll never forget the first time I birdied, I was like, oh, that's it. I'm going on tour. The very next hole humbled the hell out of me. Humbled the hell out of me. Oh, that's funny stuff. Morning, Judge. Good to see you again this morning. Hopefully you're having a good one. Still watching GFAI here. Interested to see if this goes above 760. I know we had a lot of this back and forth here around the VWAP, but a 760 pop probably tries 8 again. Let's see. Let's see if we get it. Yeah, DWAC 21.5 now, Crow. That thing's just moving too fast. Oh, Richard, you're live trading from a TD Ameritrade event. Is that in New York? That event? GFAI through 760 and fast on GFAI. It's going to go for that 8 here, I think.
All right. Nothing like a little OJ. What's going on, guys?
Still watching GFAI here on a potential move up towards 8. I actually really want to see how this reacts around 8. If it finds some resistance there, that's okay. If it pops through and immediately yanks, that tells me that there's probably still, it's going to be hard to trade this really until everything kind of settles down.
Things just getting smacked today, guys.
DWAC is now halted.
Is that volatility halt? Yeah.
Yeah.
DWACers. All you DWACers out there.
I was waiting, Mitch. As soon as I've had DWAC on the list, I was like, I wonder how long it's going to take before Mitch starts calling everybody DWACers again. And sure, I'll give you credit. You didn't do it right away. You waited until the market actually opened.
Get
don't know what
smacked.
that
Get
sound
smacked.
is.
Get smacked. Get smacked.
I don't know what that sound is, but
That is what I call a classic
Stonk.
donk. Donks. That's not a stock. That's a stonk. Let's just be honest.
It's all fake news. It's phony stuff. It didn't happen. Fake news.
Nick loves it. Nick loves it. GFAI here, by the way, back and forth. I would say the pullbacks are probably what you want to buy here on GFAI. $8 is going to be a big level, though.
Oh, there's so much fun there. Oh, man. We'll see what happens there. Can it keep going? Let's see what else I got here. I'm sure the D-whackers right now are just straight singing out there right now.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Oh, that's right. You just reloaded up your stream deck, so you probably got new drops in there and everything.
You know me, Ryan. I had to work
know
hard, dude. This
those
thing
things.
took so long, but I had to fix
how it
get
goes.
it back. And then also I'm trying to get used to like where the pages are, like where the sounds are, because they move
Yeah.
a little bit. You know what I mean? So I had to do them all
790
over
up
again.
here on GFAI. Look out, folks. This is going to try to go to 8. Really, the question is going to be, does this break above 8?
Okay, let's go. Let's go.
795, some size there.
Get it. Get it.
DWAC 69% to the upside.
Oh, it's ripping. That's for sure.
I was gonna say, watch Harley Davidson, guys. There was an upgrade this morning.
Hog, ticker Hog.
Yes, ticker Hog from DA Davidson. They
Hog.
upgrade to buy from neutral. They're upgrading shares to buy with a $47 price target from neutral after their most recent Hog checks revealed better than feared 2Q23 U.S. retail. Strong progress.
There
with
goes GFAI, folks. Sorry to interrupt you, Nick, but this was okay. So now that we broke through that, I think you can probably load this on pullbacks or just add some on pullbacks here and wait for new highs. GFAI, big move here. Sorry, Nick.
So
Go
annoyed
ahead.
at that RX back down to 1460s there. Hilton doing well. Airbnb, did it get up there? Yeah, it was a nice little move.
Nick, I'm sorry about interrupting that news drop there. Why don't you get that in there?
I was going to say, hold on one second. I was looking at something else. They're saying there's other names possibly that could be moving with DWAC. There's ticker
PHUN.
Rum. There's Rum. There's PHUN.
Rumble.
Yeah,
There's
Rum likes to go with it.
MARK. There's a lot of other tickers that could be moving.
Yeah, Rum likes to go with it all the time. I've seen that happen plenty of times. RX back down to the 1450s. Just definitely got screwed with that pop earlier. Without that pop, I mean, it'd be a big day for me. I tried to take the big swing, just got stopped out on that little pop. And what I'm guessing that pop was a big short covering some shares. So there you guys see it. Just got screwed by the bigger trader, and now it's back down to 1440s. So that's a little bit frustrating, as this could have been a major win for me there on RX.
It was still a win, though, right? You still won on that.
Yeah, I won on the first, but then I lost on the second, and I went for
Gotcha.
the home run on the second. So it was just a little frustrating. It was looking really good, but just got screwed by the bigger trader. That's literally what it is.
GFAI kind of coming back in here a little bit. Oh, maybe not.
That's a little frustrating one, man.
Was
I
going to say
think
Netflix is getting hit hard again. Back.
I could
from
see
earnings.
RX at like 13 later today.
Netflix
and I know
really
that's gonna
coming in here.
frustrate me.
Watch QNRX, Quion Pharmaceuticals. That's up 46% right now.
That was a halt earlier, too. Alexa called that halt out on QNRX. Looks like it came back in after the halt. Might be bouncing and trying to go towards highs.
All right, gonna go looking somewhere else because RX has already taken way too much mental capital away from me.
EVLO, nice little pullback to the VWAP here. Crow, did you reload EVLO on this VWAP pull? I know that you were watching this before. I think you added this one on the last VWAP pull, if I'm not mistaken. Blue Horseshoe loves DWAC. GFAI new highs now. 850 your high print.
I was going to say, watch Tesla. They're near the lows of the session, down about 1.1%.
Tesla pretty down on the day.
GFAI pulling back now. No on EVLO. Thanks, Crow. Huge knife on GFAI. Oh my God. And didn't load my chart here. Look at this. Look at this pullback. Look at this. Look at this knife to the VWAP. That was a dollar move down.
Yeah, that's a
dollar move. And now it's breaking beneath the VWAP. Man, this thing. I know I call Nat Gas the Widowmaker, but we might have a new one here, folks.
Yeah, 1.5 million shares sold somewhere up there in the 840s, 850s. So as you were getting close into the 850s, there's a big seller. So I don't know if he had the order before, like the shares before, and he just sold up there. That's what it seems like to me. There's a big seller that showed up.
You know what it seemed like, Mitch? It seemed like a trigger, right? It seemed like one of their triggers hit and it just unleashed a huge market order. That's what it feels like. Exactly. GFAI may be bouncing here. We'll see.
Yeah, that was one of those, like, I have a huge position. I just made a big win. I want to get out.
Yeah,
take it out. Take it out.
Take it out. That is what it felt like. That's what it felt like in the moment.
Yeah. So what you look for is the algos to reload at a certain spot here. So like to me, what stands out is like 750. So I want to see the algorithm volume just start coming in at the 750s, like pretty fast, seeing the switch there. And so this is how quickly these smaller positions can move around. And that's why you got to understand that if you do trade these positions. That's how I don't know, like, how traders build up like 20,000 share positions in these smaller names, because dude, like a move like that will wreck you if you have 20,000 shares. I mean, all right, looking around out there, guys. What are you guys looking at? Always be aware of the risk all the time. It's the risk that matters more than the reward, I always say.
Look at DWAC.
DWACking, man. DWACking it. And the worst part is, I think, is this really a benefit to DWAC of what's going on?
No, but see, but you're right, Mitch. That is the worst part. The worst part is that I can't make sense of any of this, so it makes it feel like gambling if I enter. By the way, GFAI bouncing down. I mean, there's a lot of really strange stuff going on here, and it's, you know, I'm trying to capture some of it, but I'm also not trying to put myself in a position where my risk parameters get absolutely blown out. And on some of the stocks that we're watching, I feel like that's the case here.
I agree. That's where you got to be careful of today. Like in the pullback in Ross stores right now, I just would like to see it come up above the 313s today to 114s. I have a swing trade on this, but I'm also thinking about maybe just taking a trade off of this into the 114s. But right now, it hasn't been that type of day. Carvana has been holding up as of late. You guys know where I've been looking at, and it's just beyond frustrating me now, but I'll just keep looking elsewhere to see if I can find a trade. Google is just hanging out in the middle. So we could see a flip right back to the upside. The thing that tells me that we're still pretty weak is Apple, but Apple could flip right back to the upside too. So be careful out there, as we've already gotten a pretty significant move to 10 a.m. We could see a little bit of a bounce after 10 a.m.
I was going to say, watch Game Score Holdings, ticker GAME. They're halted on a circuit breaker under the upside, about 10%. It's about $4. It's about a $4 stock.
Yeah, it looks like just a volume pop there, Nick, that did that one on game. They brought in a bid under GFAI, by the way, here.
Someone said on Twitter, DWAC is the new GameStop.
It's trading like it, at least today. GFAI trying that 840 area again. We'll see if it breaks through 850 this time. We'll see. And you know what else will be interesting, Mitch, here on GFAI is if it, oh my God, right through on GFAI.
Yeah.
Holy smokes, guys.
I remember what I mentioned a little earlier that this seemed to me like it was one of those moves where it just stops out a whole bunch of retail because a bigger seller came in. Very similar to what happened to me on like RXRX, right? A bigger trader comes in and can turn things around. So that turned around really quickly. It went down there to 736. I mean, there's not many people they're going to be able to hold as the stock was at 830 and the stock drops a whole buck.
Exactly. Exactly, Mitch. That's the whole thing. The way that this stock is moving makes it incredibly difficult to hold. And when they break upside ranges, they end up pulling it back. So it's very much like you were saying, the bigger seller, they're just completely in control and then taking people out, flushing out stops and then going. I actually scalped it on that move through 840. Kind of thinking maybe I shouldn't press my luck the rest of the day on this one, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
It is.
Now I can see retracements making sense to 8. And so what is that pullback? That's from 882 back down to 8. Can you handle that? Things that you need to be thinking about, right? If this stock can do that on 1 minute, 1 minute can be a 12% move. And so keep that in mind.
GFAI. Oh man, what every morning is different with this job, I will say. Every single morning is different. Should we use the 8-ball, guys? Should we ask GFAI if it's going to print double digits today from the 8-ball? What do you guys think?
SPY and Q starting to come back here.
So Crow bringing up a really important point here. Crow saying, Ryan, when trading these small caps, I try to only be in the trade 2 minutes max. Crow, exactly. And that's one of the reasons why you guys see me scalping these as opposed to loading them and holding them for huge moves. The smaller caps that are volatile, they're back and forth all the time. I'm trying to capitalize on that movement. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I'm not. Dan giving us an upside target here for GFAI 1134. If it keeps going, Dan, it'll be really interesting to see if we get that. Here, let's see. Let's see. Let's do the magic 8-ball. Okay, 8-ball. Is GFAI going to print double digits at some time today? What does that say? I got it. Says concentrate and ask again. I tell you what, I might need a new 8-ball because every time I seem to ask it something, it tells me to ask later or it doesn't know. Anyway.
They don't have the Chat GPT ball yet, do they?
Oh my God, Mitch, no. And that is a business idea. Get your Chat GPT ball hooked up to Wi-Fi and ask it questions. That is a phenomenal idea, Mitch.
Instead of the 8-ball, we got answers now. You big candle. Yeah, keeping an eye on it. You've been pulling back pretty fast here. Daily chart was just kind of trying to push there towards 50. Has pulled back multiple days. Resistance is around, I would say around 45.60s or 45.80s there on Unity. Needs to get back above there if it's going to make a green move. It's just chopping around right now. I feel like the cues are, and that's where it gets a little bit difficult once we start getting into more of that chop. So now I see that chopping action. We could go right back up. We could come right back down. And that's where you got to be extra careful. I think the cruise lines might eventually keep on the pullback. They've been trying to catch a little bit of some dip buys, but I feel like they're going to come back down. All right, big levels to kind of keep an eye out for here is if the SPY can actually make an up move, or will we reject these moves and just start come crashing down? I think that's one thing to keep an eye out. We could just be stuck in some chop, right? SPY is right now on the VWAP. Big important level to kind of keep in mind here. We'll see what happens. The VWAP is right there for me, so I'm going to see if we recover here. The Qs are actually a little bit weaker than the SPY, so that's why I'm keeping an eye on the SPY to see if we can just reject here. CCL is one that I'm looking at to see if it's going to reject, come right back down through this 1761, or does it come back up through the 1795s? Things to think about. Still looking around to see if any other stocks kind of make sense here. Microsoft a little bit lower there. Google a little bit lower. Apple a little bit lower. NVIDIA. Will these stocks make a comeback here today, or will they continue to leak? Tesla's trying to come back above 263s. It's right now trading at 261.
Amazon also making a pretty decent down move here today. And
yeah, Amazon. All right, SPY a little up move here.
I wonder if this FTC news on Amazon is what's hitting it for this leg lower.
As Tesla goes, so does Ford, and Ford actually led the action there, and so you're seeing Ford lately just start to give up. And so I'm kind of mad I didn't short it there at 15. I was thinking about shorting Ford at 15. It's down to 1388s, and if you get any strike news, oh man, this thing could be right back down. Like GM could be down to 32s, Ford could be back down to 12s and 10s, 11s. It looked like a good opportunity. Airbnb trying to make that lift towards 150s. I like that stock today, and I like Hilton, and I like those lodging plays. We'll look to see if they can keep going higher. Of course, I have a swing trade on Hilton. Taking a look at it. Energy going right back to the upside. Industrials catching a little bit of a bounce. We're starting to see a little bit of a bounce in the market. Let's see if we can actually take out some highs here. Healthcare is a good looking area on the day. Drug manufacturer is doing well. Some specialty ones. BFRI shows up there as some of the smaller names. It could get the lift. CTS. PTPI is one that's showing up here. It's a smaller name though. Not doing much. See a bunch of these biotechs, but nothing seems interesting to me. It seems a little bit boring to me, but that's maybe just myself. It's a boring type of market day. Come on, man. All right, let's keep looking. Let's go to the Moo chart, see if I can find something to trade. Just seems like we're in this slow up, and it's no fun when we're in the slow up. All right, going to the market hot spots, looking at real estate there, real estate development stocks showing up there, semiconductor equipment. Lodging, we've talked about lodging. Travel services are something to keep an eye out for. Airbnb shows up there. Booking, Expedia, names like that I'd keep an eye out for. DWAC, of course, continuing to move.
Marie says the market's not boring for DWAC. That is true. Jay also given us a really good relationship here for Bitcoin. By the way, GFAI new high 890. Looks like it is going for that 9 spot. We'll see what happens there. I have no position in that. I suspect another pullback. We really haven't had a pullback since that really nasty one to the VWAP. So I wouldn't be shocked if this actually pulled when it hits 9. We're Coming up and testing 9 here. Let's see what happens. There's 9 taking size. They went through a couple of cents. I'll keep you updated. Anyway, Jay drawing a really good relationship here. 2 weeks ago, Riot, Monster, Mara were all moving ahead of Bitcoin. Lately, that's not the case. Bitcoin is green and all of these stocks are red. So, Jay, I really like that you're finding the relationships there and then trying to come with some type of ability to trade it. GFAI 918, you're high there, so it didn't get a huge pullback here. Let me load up my charts. Sorry, Mitch, I've got yours on here. GFAI didn't have that big nasty pull that we did earlier. Mitch, this leads me to believe that this had to have been 1 or 2 isolated sellers at that level, just like you were discussing, and they must have unleashed a market order.
Yeah, it was a pretty wicked move there. And so what can help you is seeing wicks. When you're seeing big wicks, remember to look at the level 2 and see if you're seeing just a bunch of selling at that level. Sometimes it might be quick to sell and then look to get back in. I think that's the only way you could have played that GFAI. Let's say if you took like an 8 break and it went to like that 840, you needed to sell quick before it cut down through 8, back down to 730s.
I got to think we have another pullback coming here in GFAI. And until that pullback shows up, I'm not interested in buying this. If I miss it, so be it. I'm not going to put myself in a position where I turn a day that's already a red day into a worse red day. I made money on this last scalp. I don't want to give it back.
Yeah, the only way that it makes sense for me is a pullback to $8.
Same. Yeah, there you go.
Literally, and it stands out on the 15-minute chart also. If you look at the 15-minute chart, you'll see it in the pre-market. Look at this resistance here, resistance there. That's the only place that it makes sense in. And then another thing to look at is I look for deeper time frame pullbacks, right? Like we're talking about resistance buying pretty much, but why not just do this support, draw this in the pre-market, and this was already there available for you in the pre-market, right? Off these support lines, right? And then looking for pullbacks to that level. That's a 702 entry today, and risking off the next layer of support, which is you just like literally draw it, right? So 676 would be that layer. And you could be going in at 7s, risking 25 cents for a move back up towards 8, which is what? We're talking about a point higher, right? Point higher to risk 25 cents. That's how I like to go about these trades. And just like thinking about it, hindsight 2020, right? And how we could go about these charts. 2 ways to go about it: buying the highs or buy the supports on the daily charts, off the hourly charts, 15-minute charts.
And as we're talking,
small risk.
As we're talking about waiting for a pullback, GFAI trades up another 80 cents here.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely has that momentum, right? And so one thing that I would look at now is when does it break the 9 EMA? That's that light blue line for me that I always keep a look at. So you see how the light blue line, it kind of curves here at the 860s and then it holds it. Those are the type of pressures that you're going to see now. Now this is an expansion move away from the 9 EMA. So eventually I'd be looking for pullbacks here towards, let's say, closer towards 916 or 9. But right now it's definitely expanded away. Qs look like they want to go right back to the downside here. We'll see if we start to get another downside hit here. Will NVIDIA go right back down? Could very much happen. Apple looking weak there. This looks like things want to come right back down here. Will the SQQQs go right back to the 1790s? This is one thing to take a look at today. Success. Will this come right back towards 970s? Doesn't look too bad there. We'll see if we come right back down on the market.
So one of the things that's interesting here about GFAI, Mitch, I'm going to take back the charts if you don't mind real quick. One of the things that's interesting about GFAI here, we are pulling back finally, so that's a good thing. GFAI up 43% even amidst this pullback. The warrants only up 9%. So GFAI has warrants here, only up 9%. Now, it's worth noting I don't trade warrants often, but I am kind of looking at this because this definitely seems like there's a relationship here that's not in sync. I'm not sure why these warrants are only up 9% when the stock's just raging right here. I don't know enough about trading warrants to tell you if this is a good buy, or to take it myself, I should say.
There's the down action in the market there. Q's going lower there. Be careful in DWAC, guys. DWAC pulled back fast. Rum now going into the red. Oh, I'm so frustrated. I'm on RX. That's why I haven't been able to take a trade since then. Literally, I've just been stuck since then. Fun. Oil pulling back here. I'm looking for like a little up move actually.
Oh my God, Peloton. This was also being talked about of a potential short squeeze. 3.76 days to cover 13.5% of the float shorted. This thing really rolling over here today.
Airbnb even pulling back now. Just be careful out there, team. NASDAQ rolling over. SPY rolling over.
BFRG getting some action here. Thank you, Squawker. Not Cleo, but the other Squawker.
Holy
Lol.
crap. That thing separated by 20 cents, though. I wouldn't
Which
touch
one?
that. BFRG.
Yeah, that thing. And CXAI, same deal. Crow mentioning it here. Big spread here in CXAI. 13-cent spread right now.
Yeah, too big of spread there for me. For a smaller name, that's something I definitely don't like to see. Man, it has not been a exciting day for me, at least in the market.
Well, I'm not crying yet, so that I guess that's a good thing. This stuff's been all over the place here today. Started off with a loss, but I was able to grind that back and scratch towards green. I do think SPY 450 test is probably on deck if the market stays weak here today. Alexa saying Google dropping like hotcakes. I have not heard that reference before, but may reuse that. Don't forget, we've got Google earnings coming up next week. This is going to be Tuesday of next week after the market closes. There was some thought that Google might run into earnings like some of these other tech names, but as Alexa's pointing out here, we're not getting that. We're actually getting a rollover here. 115 test may be on deck if this continues to roll over. GFAI is still flagging up here. 990 is going to be your high print, but it sure feels like this might go to 10. Little too risky here for my blood. I feel like I luckily got out with a profit on this ticker today, so I might just leave it alone unless a real good setup comes. Jay Rice putting this in perspective. If you think you had a bad day yesterday, Musk lost 20 billion and Zuckerberg lost 3.5 billion.
Who cares?
I mean, I would care about losing $20 billion. I don't know what to tell you, Mitch.
No, man, they don't care about
that.
They don't care about that, man. Come on. They got so much money they can wipe their butts with it.
No, that doesn't mean that they want to lose it. I got a secret for you. Wealthy people stay wealthy because they don't waste money. They don't make a whole bunch of bad decisions. By the way, GFAI pulling back here. This is really what we need for a potential long setup. We need a good, healthy pullback that shakes out a lot of these weak hands. Maybe we're getting it right here. Crow putting it in perspective for us. When you have $1 billion to lose, it's always a good day. That I agree with.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, you think that fronts them? Nah, man. They don't even shake their heads to that. EVLO trying to hold here around the 1150s, but I'm not feeling it today, man. It's just not there. Like, that's probably about the only one that I'd look at right here, but I'm just not even feeling it either. Doesn't look too bad off like maybe 15-minute charts here as it's coming back there. 1170s, but
Steve, I am green on I am green on day trades. I am red overall on the day, as my swing trades today taking a pretty good hit. I can't speak for the other guys.
I am red on RX. RX when I was up big, but just got stopped out on RX. RX as it did that little recent pop up, and then just went right back down towards the lows. So I think I had a good idea. Ever since then, I haven't been able to take a trade. Just took too much mental capital for me to even take a trade after that. And I haven't really seen any setup that I want to go after.
Alexa, good question here. I think Amazon may be a nice entry between 124 and 125. So if we take a look at the chart here, 124 and 125 is right in here. Alexa, the one thing that I would say here on this is that I'm willing to bet if this area right in here was broken to the downside, looks like the bottom of the body of that candle is about 127 and the wick is about 126. So I'd say that level in here, if that breaks, especially given some of this downward momentum, I actually think we probably overshoot. You might even be able to get an ad here at 120. But what the area that you're looking in right here is going to be right in this consolidation area. I would agree with you. I think that might be a decent opportunity to load Amazon for the next upside move. If that doesn't materialize, though, it's going to be imperative that you have a plan on the downside, because if this continues to roll over, you don't want to be stuck in that.
Not really. I'm in a bad mood. It's just there's not much there today. It just seems like it's a bunch of trappy moves out there. There's a continued downside leak, but I haven't been playing it, and so like
CEI moving
at that point. I don't think it's something that I want to chase now. Like technology keeps leaking, and that's probably the best trade of the day. But it's like if you got it early, right? Like let's say Meta. Like Meta is a perfect chart, right, for this description, right? And so I can't chase charts here. I can't short this red candle here. Some people like to short this candle here. I cannot do that. At least for my strategies, that is not my type of game. My type of game is shorting the VWAP fades. And so that would be shorting right here. But if I don't get it right here to begin the day on a day trade, right, 303.30s here, risking off of maybe 305s or right here towards the high 304.50s, then I can't even get this stock at all for the rest of the day as long as it doesn't come back to VWAP. Moves like this get me to this point where I'm just like watching the moves continue to leak, because there's no point in me going and shorting Meta here and then watching the stock just come right back to VWAP, because easily it could come right back to this level here. And so when I get to these points, it's like, it's just a waiting game now, right? And so, yeah, I can be patient, wait, but that's when I say the market gets kind of boring. When I'm just looking for moves to happen, they're already leaking and they already made the move essentially.
You know,
this is how I feel like a lot of those charts are like that.
One of the things that I've always heard from traders that have been in the business for a long time is that trading is 10% buying, 10% selling, and 80% waiting. And it's those waiting times where FOMO will often kick in and then cause traders to make bad decisions. One of the things you have to do is to fight that. I mean, GFAI is a pretty good example. I took a loss early on GFAI when it was in a 7 handle. I watched it go towards 9. I really wanted to play it. Thankfully, the smaller size scalp that I took ended up making me go green. But I mean, watching this action, it makes me want to play it. If I don't have a setup that I feel good about, the right move is to just not trade it and let it go. And when you're a part of a chat community, sometimes when you watch other people making money on all of these different plays and you're not, it feels like, God, I should be in something. Be very careful about that. Trading is a personal thing. You're only going to be successful if you're able to personally control your risk and make decisions like that. So hopefully that made sense.
And I know you DWACKers are probably watching it now, so let's go ahead. Let's just talk about that chart since it's the only one moving here, right? I'll show you guys what I see on that chart. So the orange line is my VWAP. So you guys see the orange line coming up here, right? What do I see right now? And this is on the 1 minute, so it's a little bit of a short time frame, right? So I see what? 1 bottoming action, 2 bottoming actions, 3 bottoming actions, and it just made an attempt to go there to 21. I would like to see one more attempt to 21 and then watch it come through this trend line a little bit later in the day. We'll see what happens. It's already testing that breakout back above the 2250s. That's going to be a big spot. That's where I could see it kind of holding up for a second. If it gets through that 50, that's where it could push higher. And so you see right there, it stops up right at that 2240s, 2250s. Why? It's a logical move right there. Logical breakout spot. We'll see if it gets through that mental hurdle. And then the next one is 23, right? I'm looking for one more pullback into this 2090s and then for it to come back up. That's the only way I could play it.
CXAI, by the way, this was mentioned by Crow earlier. This going towards 8, looking like this might try to pop 8 and go. There it goes. Oh, that's fun. And see, here's the thing. So we're just talking about FOMO here. One of the things that I've noticed today is that these upside breaks, they don't always work. And here it is. So I'm watching this. That's kind of why I was laughing. This would have been in a market that is where more of these upside breaks are working. I'm absolutely taking CXAI on a break at 8. But you know what? That hasn't really been working for me. We've seen a lot of nasty pullbacks. I've taken losses from stocks where I've tried to play this upside break. So when I see it, it's kind of funny to me. Now, I'm not disappointed that I missed this. To be quite honest with you, Crow had a better entry when this thing actually came back into VWAP. QNRX kind of just settling right beneath the VWAP here. CEI, oh my God, look at this move on CEI, folks. Oh, CEI. XXI maybe moving through its VWAP here on XXII.
XXII? Thought that was someone from the chat.
No, that you're talking
like
about
that one,
13. Right? XIII. That's 13. That's Joe.
There you go. You can have a good joke with him a little later.
Oh, I will. In fact, I'm going to text him right now.
You got to tell him he needs to take the ticker XXIII. All right, we'll see what else is going on out there, team. How we doing? The battle's on.
Walter saying the third person Crow is back. Everybody look out. When Crow goes third person, he turns into the Hulk. It's like the Hulk of trading.
The Hulk, baby, the Hulk.
Nick, have you seen any news drops since we started or recently? Sorry, Mitch.
No, you're good. Just letting everyone know RX back up.
Just looking around. Oh, I was going to say Carvana. They got a downgrade this morning from Piper Sandler, CVNA. To neutral from overweight. They say we upgraded Carvana last September on the basis the company was trading at a significant discount to intrinsic value due to bankruptcy risk, which we thought was unlikely. Now that the bankruptcy scare has abated and the stock has risen to $47, we believe Carvana is approaching a fair valuation.
Carvana trying to take its VWAP now.
Yeah, we could get some reversals now. Starting to see that starting to come back. So, you D-whackers out there, get ready. Getting that attempt down there in D-whack here. I want to see a break through 21 and then a recovery quickly. Maybe trade this here.
We got a challenge here for Mitch. Crow challenges Mitch to get a vanity license plate with ticker BYND on it. Becca seconds this motion.
Oh, man. If only I can get FU in front of it.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah, that's definitely a buzzer right there. We'll see. We'll see.
Crow saying meds on watch for a swing. We traded meds, what feels like a couple of weeks ago. Let's see where that's at here. Meds looks like
We
it's
all
kind of
need-
bottoming
We
out.
need some meds, right?
I see. So you're talking about this pop, this retracement. Maybe it kind of holds here and moves back.
There's that move for DWAC now towards 21 here, guys. I'll be a DGen with you guys if I can get it below 21s. Need a quick spike down. Already some buyers coming in.
So ONBS, this is one of my swing trades. I'm actually underwater on this. I think my average price on this is 5. This was a longer term trade that really went against me. I'm okay holding it though. This is a longer term play here. We had a really big day yesterday. It's having another big pop here. But we'll see if volume really flows into this. You could day trade this. Again, I'm holding this. But with that pop, oh, okay. So retraced a little bit. But with that pop, I did go green temporarily by about $26. Now that it's come back in, I'm back in the red.
DWAC right back above 2150s. I missed my shot there. It was really quick when it was under 21. Talked about I wanted to get it at 21, but it was like a second or two there. And so right here on this candle, you went to 2094, but it was less than a millisecond that it stayed there below 21s. I literally had my hand on the trigger to get in. Wasn't able to get in. It did exactly what I wanted to see. At this point, I wouldn't want it to get back to 21. I would want it to take out 2250s and go right back towards the breakout. So I missed my second to get in there, and that's how it is sometimes, team. So the big thing is there, right? 1, 2, 3. I look for fake out to the downside, reversal signal. Reversal signal meaning a big bullish and engulfing candle here. That's what I want to see. That's what you just got. I wouldn't want it to break down that low of that candle now, 20, 21, 22. It actually looks good there. I just can't take it now. All right. What else is being called out in the chat there? We're going to start seeing that reversal. NASDAQ coming back. SPY coming back. I think you're starting to see a little bit of some reversal action. Tesla come back yet? Starting to start showing a little bit of some bottoming there. Google starting to come back. Microsoft starting to come back. Apple starting to bottom around the 192.90s there. Meta.
I was going to say, watch the regional banks. The S&P regional banking ETF, KRE, is up 9% since Monday, and it's on pace for its best week since the week ending January 8th of 2021, when it finished up nearly 9.8%.
All right. Got some VLO for a nice 7% swing. Wisdom. There you go. I got some of that too. Let's go. We'll get some Valero. I have to find a Valero gas station just to pump, just to feel good about it on the weekend.
That's every time I go to Portillo's, I'm like, yes, I'm boosting same store sales, baby. Let's go.
That's the way I feel all the time, Ryan. It was like that stock went because I went shopping, baby.
But you know what? That's actually, all jokes aside, that's one of the reasons why I say trade what you know. If you know it, you should have a better feel about how it goes. Like when I go into Portillo's, I'm not just thinking about food. I'm also thinking about what's the foot traffic like? How's the service? Is the efficiency behind the counter where it needs to be? Because these things are going to determine how the stock does as it expands from 80 stores to 600. And I want to stay on top of that. It also is one of the reasons why when I go to a different state or I go to a Portillo's location that I've never been before, I take extra time to see if there's anything I can notice that might not necessarily factor into my trading plan, but might actually kind of change the thesis or give me some color about how that expansion is going, which is a major part of my long thesis.
Well, at least for the swing trade outlook, I'm going to start looking at some of these to continue, right? I think we got to start looking for kind of these value plays to continue, and that's what I would be looking for. Abbott Labs having a really good day today again, so look for somewhat value plays to continue higher right now. I'm even thinking about adding to BJ today. Just started getting a lift to 64.60s. I'm in at 64.19s. I wouldn't mind a pullback somewhere near my level where I got in, even add to that position, looking for the upside move there. And BJ, I would want to see Costco continue higher and Walmart continue higher. Walmart's leading the way there. I like Dollar Tree also today, DG, Dollar General. Dollar General is lagging a little bit more. Dollar Tree looks like a little bit better chart, at least on the intraday action. We'll see what happens there. DWAC right now is just hanging on by a thread. We'll see if that's actually able to hang on here and make the up move. Wouldn't want to see it break that kind of downward action where it went to 2120s just recently. Would want it to take off here back through the 2250s if I was a bull. Hilton, man. Hilton going higher today. That's still looking good for me. I want to see that continue to climb. Been playing Hilton for a specific move back above 154. Going to look for it to keep pushing. All right, what time is it here? It's about 10:45, guys. We're going to start wrapping it up here. Like always, you guys can check out Moo if you guys want to go ahead and are looking to get some free shares. Of course, I've used some of those free shares, and that definitely helped me. I'm not going to be lying about that. That helped me get right back above the 600. And I think that, that's what it's all about. Now we're back into 626. Look at that equity curve. It was a little bit of a battle there, but now we're spiking back above that. And that's what it's all about. Up 25% on the small account challenge. So going to keep pushing through. You guys can always check out Moo with this link. We got our own landing page there. So check it out. Hit the link there in the chat. Always in the description below and the QR code in the top corner also. All right, that's going to do it for us today. Any last wrap up here, boys? What do you guys got?
I'm just going to keep watching. I want to see how some of these candles close on some of these indices. I'm definitely going to stay away from some of the crazy stuff here. I don't want to make today any worse going into the weekend. But otherwise, just going to be working on my FOMO, I suppose.
Love it. Love it. Don't worry. We'll all be working on that, I think. So definitely enjoy your weekend. Nick Brown, always great to have you here on Live Trading.
Great job
we'll be
again,
doing
Nick.
more and more right here. It's always good. Definitely give my man a nice little follow at News by Nick, Money Mitch BZ, and our Faloona, of course. We'll be here battling with you guys next week. Hit the thumbs up. Stick around, of course. Benzinga will have more for you guys today. Like always, we're here to help you guys level the playing field and continue growing your trading skills. We'll see you next time right here on Live Trading with Benzinga. Until that time, hit the like button and smash it up, team. We'll see you next time. Yeah, have a great one, guys. And like always, if you haven't checked out Benzinga Pro, what are you guys waiting for?
Did you know that nearly all stock price changes of 10% or more result from a single news headline? In fact, a research paper from the Federal Reserve analyzed more than 900,000 news stories and concluded that positive news stories increase stock returns quickly. The key is getting access to breaking news live as it is happening. Benzinga Pro is the only streaming platform available to retail investors that provides the fastest live news feed in the market, so you can catch breakout stocks before they rally. Some recent winning alerts include 270% on BLPH in 4 days, 147% on CRBP in 2 days, and 118% on UNCY in 4 days. The way it works is simple. Every minute of the day, Benzinga Pro scours the market for news that moves stock prices. Not only does Benzinga Pro provide data to brokerages and other news outlets such as TradeStation, TD Ameritrade, MarketWatch, and Bloomberg, subscribers get the same data plus real-time alerts to stay ahead of new stock rallies. But that's not all. You also get streaming stock news, trading signals, intelligent chat rooms, daily trade picks from professional traders, stock audio with real-time updates, a stock scanner to identify new rallies, and so much more. Basically, all the information and research tools you need to stay ahead of the market and in front of big stock moves. For a limited time, you can access Benzinga Pro for free for the next 2 weeks. Just click the button on this page, fill out the form, and join us. The next alerts are coming out any minute.
No worries. What's going on, guys? Smash the like. You know it, Nick Brown. You know